caught on video, a noose controversy. You can clearly see this white firefighter tying a rope into a noose and handing it to a black firefighter.
It shows him actually tying it, looking at it, admiring his work, making sure it tightens and everything like that, swinging it around. And then when I finally walked back into the firehouse, he tosses it to me. I remember catching it and looking at it and being in disbelief. I asked him, I was like, yo, what's this? And he said, oh, I want you to figure out what kind of knot this is. And I told him, I said, I know exactly what kind of knot it is. This is what people used to hang my ancestors from trees. I said, do you think this is funny?
That black firefighter, by the way, has now filed a $25 million lawsuit for a hostile workplace and racial discrimination.
The audacity of some to do what they do, the audacity of some people to do what they do, to keep doing something and think, oh my God, it's funny, like figure it out, it's funny. Because when he threw that news or that note, the news to that guy and told him, you figure out what type of note it is or what type of news it is, says a lot of things. Because why would you be outright racist and then expect someone to play along with your racism? It's like, do you not know the severity of this thing? Do you not know how heavy this thing is? Do you think this is a joke? Do you think we should just move along and forget everything that's happening? Like, what is genuinely happening? That's the question. Why are people so comfortable doing in this day and age? I say this all the time. It's 2025 for people to continue being stupid, for people to continue being dumb, for people to continue doing what it is that they're doing. They know what it is that they're doing and they're going to continue doing it because they think they can get away with it. That is the privilege just showing up. Because what do you mean you threw it at a black person and said, figure out what this is? Like, you don't know the history of that. You could have thrown it to a white counterpart. Why him? Why the black guy? I'm glad he's suing. Let's watch the other videos. Hi there, my name is Janita Maya. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here and like this video and more, please make sure you subscribe, and you subscribe. Let's dive in.
Now to an iTeam exclusive update in New Jersey. Disturbing surveillance video has now surfaced 2 years after a black Bloomfield firefighter accused a white firefighter of knotting a rope into a noose and taunting him.
That black firefighter just filed a $25 million lawsuit against the township. And here's investigative reporter Sarah Wallace, who first broke that story in 2023.
The lawsuit blames the township for creating a culture that allowed racist behavior by a white firefighter here to go unchecked. In a social media post, the mayor said that racist behavior will not be ignored or tolerated, and that officials took immediate action when they learned about the incident in 2023.
It shows exactly what I described happened to a T.
Firefighter Patrick Thomas just saw this surveillance video taken in this Bloomfield firehouse in November of 2023. You can see his colleague, Walter Coffey, tying a rope.
When I watched the video, it shows him actually tying it, looking at it, admiring his work, making sure it tightens and everything like that, swinging it around. And then when I finally walked back into the firehouse, he tosses it to me. I remember catching it and looking at it and being in disbelief. I asked him, I was like, yo, what's this? And he said, oh, I want you to figure out what kind of knot this is. And I told him, I said, I know exactly what kind of knot it is. This is what people used to hang my ancestors from trees. I said, do you think this is funny?
In an exclusive iTeam interview after the incident, Thomas revealed that Coffey had actually made other noose comments the week before.
The same guy came up to me while I was standing outside and said, hey, Thomas, there's a noose upstairs on the table. And then I asked him, I said, why would I want to see a noose?
Thomas went on medical leave for PTSD related to the incident. In December of 2023, the Essex County Prosecutor's Office charged Coffey with bias intimidation. He then entered a diversion program, which could eventually lead to the dismissal of the criminal charges. Bloomfield said it was continuing its investigation.
I think there should have been some jail time, or a little bit more than 2 years probation. And if he does everything right in 2 years, he has no criminal record. It's like it never even happened.
Thomas's attorney says they felt stonewalled. The firefighter battling got no information from the township about Coffey's status and racial discrimination.
There is, unfortunately, a racist culture in some parts of the Bloomfield Fire Department, which is known about by the township and allowed to persist by the township for many years.
The mayor posting on social media after the lawsuit was filed that Bloomfield reaffirms zero tolerance on racism, adding Coffey was suspended without pay and the legal termination process was initiated the same day the conduct was reported.
He should have been terminated immediately.
Thomas says he would like to go back to the work he loves, but recently failed a fit for duty exam.
In the entire 2 years since we first talked, has anybody from the township ever apologized?
No.
Nobody's ever said, we're sorry this happened?
No.
Township officials did not get back to us, but they will have to respond to the lawsuit within 21 days. From Bloomfield, Sarah Wallace, News 4 New York.
Tying a noose, and it's on video. You probably wouldn't believe it if there wasn't any video, because that's how people are. No, they wouldn't do that. That's not what he meant by that. It's exactly what he meant by that. Here's the scene. White firefighter is in the firehouse. He's tying a noose. He shows the noose in the video. You see it bright as day. Everyone's doing their own thing, but this particular firefighter is standing there and he tied the noose. He's looking at it. Black firefighter walks in. Oblivious. He just walks into where everyone's standing and he tosses the noose to him. Just like, here. And the guy's like, what's this? You know exactly what it is. You know exactly what you was doing. People know what they're doing. People know what they're doing. Why would you tie a noose and then throw it to a black firefighter? The black firefighter understood the assignment. He said, I know exactly what this is. This is what they used to tie my ancestors back in the days when they went to us. So why are you throwing this to this man, knowing the connotation that's behind that, knowing the history behind that? Let's say we didn't know the history behind that. You throw him a noose? Are you sending a threat? Because what's the backstory behind y'all that you had to send him a cord to tie? This is not a drill. You guys are not doing anything. Either way, the video is $25 million worth. Congratulations, Mr. Firefighter with the noose. And to all the people that are saying, oh, it's not that deep, you are happy that it's not you. Because if it was you or your family member or somebody that you know, you wouldn't be talking that smack. It's not that deep. Please, it is that deep.
Why I can never trust white firefighters again. Let's get into it. Well, this comes out of New Jersey. There was a white man. He had a rope that he made into a noose. And he took his time to make this noose. And he was swinging it around, very proud of his work, very proud of what he was done, his accomplishment of his noose that he made. And so, now mind you, the video showed that white people there saw him as he made it, other white firefighters. And then, so when the only black guy that was there had walked in, he took the noose and tossed it at the black man. And the black man caught it like, are you serious? And the white man gonna say, I want you to see, do you know what kind of knot that is? He said, I know what kind of knot that is. He said, that's what y'all used to hang my people, hang my ancestors in trees and shit. See, that's what I'm talking about right here. This is what I'm talking about right here. Why the hell would you be making a noose? Then make a noose. Out of all the men in the firehouse, you decide to take the noose and throw the noose to a black person, knowing what that means and know what it symbolizes. And he also said that the same white firefighter used to make jokes saying, hey, you know there's a noose upstairs, right? Like I say, man, y'all can't help yourselves. At this point, wherever y'all let him doing any positions, I don't know. And then also, then a couple of years back, last year, that was a guy that the black guy that said that this man was celebrating his 89th birthday or whatever, and he said the man was a firefighter, and the man said that he remembered that back in those days, the 60s and 70s, Well, they would sit there and listen as black people were being burned alive in houses, and they just ignored it. It just let black people burn to death. Like, that was in the 60s and 70s. And now in the 2020s, you got white men in firehouses making nooses, throwing them at black people. I'm sorry, white firefighters, I no longer trust y'all. I no longer trust y'all. I'm sorry.